the new M5 Macs at all levels. This is MacVoices. The MacVoices Dispatch is our weekly newsletter about all things MacVoices. From the week's shows to Chuck's other appearances to the week's best MacVoices magazine articles, the Dispatch keeps you up to date. Sign up now at macvoices.com/newsletter. Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. youtube.com/MacVoices TV is MacVoices Live. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still recovering from the pre-show, folks. Tuesday night, 8 p.m. We're here. We would love to have you here with us in the chat room. We have some of our friends here now. More are coming in. I look over and the number keeps spinning up, which is a good thing. So we have a lot of Apple announcements to talk about. We have a lot of other things to talk about that, frankly, we probably won't get to tonight because there's a lot to be said about the Apple announcements. But first, there's a lot to be said about who's here to talk about the Apple announcements. So, taking up an uncharacteristic position in the top left of my screen, Brian Flanigan-Arthurs. Brian, it's good to have you.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Glad you made it. Dave Ginsburg is still hiding his background because he is in a new undisclosed location. David, good to have you.
Well, it's not undisclosed. It's the brand new In Touch with iOS Studio, but it's still unpacking. So you don't need to see the mess I have behind me right now. You can just kind of see the blur. But I'm doing very well. I'm glad I got the studio back up and running so we can be here to talk about the announcements.
Definitely. Marty Jencius is here. Marty, good to have you as always. And I feel like there's a sense of order to the world when I see your clock, your cat clock wagging back and forth.
Yeah, it stopped for a while. I had to feed the kitty with a new battery, I think was what it was. So
good. Well, we appreciate it. The world keeps on turning now.
Yeah.
Speaking of wagging his tail, Jeff Gamet is here. Jeff, good.
Yeah, Marty had to put a battery in me too.
Make your eyes go back and forth.
Yeah.
How was that?
That works, Jeff. That works. That works. Now, if you can just sync it up with the clock, we've got it made.
Well, you can fix that in post.
Yeah. Retime everything. Eric Bolden is here desperately trying to drink, and he's not having a lot of success. Eric, it's good to see you.
Next time I'm going to bring down a towel, like a beach towel, and maybe I'll be safe. So
introduce us to your friends.
Yeah, today's companion birds are sandhill cranes flying in. Or, for people who don't believe in birds, they're high-altitude surveillance flight drones.
This is why I love you, Eric.
Yeah, okay. I like that you give us a choice, Eric. Yeah. Sporting a very bright quilt tonight, Mr. Webb Bixby. Webb, good to have you.
Well, the quilt's the background. I'm not wearing the quilt. It's just behind me. So, and I want you to know that I do have the whole world in my hands.
As you always do.
I like it. Yeah, but now.
And now I'm going to put it back on its pedestal here and have it rotate. So I'll get the world back on its axis. So
are you taking credit for all the craziness we've had this week in the world by taking it off its axis?
No, actually I had a power hit and it kind of fell off. So, and I haven't been back up here in the office in a couple of days. So just getting my world back together. So,
well, I'm glad.
So I'm going to have my back to the camera, but go ahead, carry on without me.
We'll summon you when needed.
I can
Jim
still
Rea
hear
is, I'm sure, yeah. Darn. Jim Rea is here. Jim, I'm glad you were able to make it.
Yeah, turned out it wasn't a problem.
Good. That's great. That's what we like to hear. Well, as I said at the top, we have a lot of Apple announcements of Tuesday night in what is reportedly to be the second of 3 days of Apple announcements this week. So We don't know for sure what's going to come tomorrow, but we may have gotten a little hint. We'll talk about that later because let's talk about what actually is formally announced. And I'm starting with today, even though the ones were done yesterday, but only basically a few hours before we recorded this, Apple unveiled a MacBook Pro featuring an M5 Pro and M5 Max chips with new Fusion architecture. And I'm quoting from a Mac Rumors article that I will throw in the show notes and also in the chat rooms real quick for everyone. I was really intrigued especially by the Fusion architecture, because this is something that, from the reports, is new from Apple, and it sounds like it's going to be just give us that much more power. Some of the configuration options for these, depending on how high you want to go, are pretty darn high. I think the one article said that the top you could outfit an M5 Max 16-inch with everything they offer, and it's like $7,500 if you went for everything. The one I spec'd one out that I want, and it only came down to a mere $5,200 or so. So, yeah, no problem. So who's interested in well, let's do it this way too. We had a MacBook Air also announced with the M5 chip, and I will throw that article into the chat rooms as well. So basically, the whole laptop line got refreshed. And so who's in the market for what? Who's excited by what they saw in these? Nobody? Webb? Good. Webb?
Nope.
There we
Okay.
go.
Yeah.
It's I got an M1 Ultra MacBook Pro. Love it. Technically, I don't need to replace it, but it's in the corporate world. I'll pass it down to someone else, and I'll get the new one. I spec'd mine out. It was right at about 5,900, so close to 6. With the nano screen and all the other kinds of bells and whistles that I could get. So I'll get one. I'm not going to order it right away. I'll give it a couple of months. Let's put it this way. I hope to be sporting a new MacBook Pro by the time we head to Woodstock. Woodstock. Yeah.
Macstock, whatever.
Yeah, that place. When I go to Chicago.
Yeah. I'm with you, Webb. I'm not going to jump in right now, and I really didn't think they could show me anything that would tempt me, and now I'm tempted. So, Brian.
Yeah, I was taking a look. I'm probably leaning towards maybe replacing my M2 MacBook Air with the M5 MacBook Air. When I originally bought my M2 about 3.5, 4 years ago, I had my iMac 27-inch, and it was pretty well outfitted. It had the Intel processor, and that computer, despite being an Intel, still had pretty good horsepower behind it. And so I kind of skimped out a little bit on the M2 as a secondary computer. But now that I only use the one, this laptop, it's a little less powerful than what I could probably use. So I don't think I need to quite go up to the Pro, but a better outfitted MacBook Air would do me pretty good. So it's a good possibility. I'll be either trading in my MacBook Air or maybe passing it down.
Okay. Let's see. You said an M2. So an M2 up to an M5 would be a pretty good jump.
Yeah, and on top of that, I had gotten the base model originally too. So with only 8 gigs of RAM, so it'll be a significant increase. I think I would probably future-proof it a little bit and bump up from the 16 to 24 gigs of RAM.
Okay. Dave.
Yeah, well, I have an M1 Pro that I've been sporting for 4 years, 16-inch. I definitely wanted to jump down to the 14-inch. I'm using this Mac Mini M5 Pro. I'm kind of curious to see what kind of performance differences are going to be with it. So I'm going to take a little closer look at that. But I'm going to go with the M5 Pro, and it's the base RAM is 24 gigs, which is for me pretty sufficient, and 1 terabyte is the standard storage. But with the Fusion and all the things that they mentioned on it, and like Jeff says in our chat, is it's 2219 for the one I just mentioned. So
if we got them, we'd be laptop twinsies.
We would. So I have gift cards from birthday. I got and other gift cards, and plus I have. If I trade in the M1 Pro, I'll get about $540. So it'll cost me, half the cost. So can't complain.
Okay, Marty.
Yeah, I went in and played around with configurations, and particularly along the Pro line, and it gets expensive really quick.
Yep.
Kind of surprised me, and so I doodled around with some configurations, and looking at the possibility of upgrading. Finally, I just gave up and put them all as saved in my account box, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. I really do love my 15-inch MacBook Air, and that size and that form factor for what I use it for at the office is great in terms of gives me enough real estate to do things with. So, but I can't see myself lugging around a 16-inch MacBook Pro in terms of that carrying in that weight. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I have a MacBook Air that I can toss in for some money. And I think what's going to happen is of the devices that I have, the only MacBook Air I'm going to keep is that 15-inch, and probably drop the 13-inch that I have, put that in for something. And then I'm seriously looking at what they're going to announce tomorrow, just because I think it's going to be fun.
Okay. Eric.
Having a hard time today. I really like the 14-inch M5 Pro. Just like the perfect machine.
Mm-hmm.
But I want a machine that I can take with me with a camera and a canoe to take pictures. And I felt myself crying because I flipped the canoe over, lost the computer, and so I can't do that.
Eric,
yet.
The perfect model for you to take on the canoe is Marty's. Just borrow his.
Yeah.
Oh,
he has a few spares.
yeah,
Hey, Eric, get a Dell. That's what I would suggest.
Dell.
So kind of like what I did with the M4 Mini, where I just got a low end device because it worked. It actually worked far better than I expected, and it wasn't a lot of money, and I can replace it within a year and not worry about it or hand it off to somebody else. So using kind of that theory, I think I'm going to go with a lower end MacBook Air, because with the Vision Pro, I still get a decent screen. Really, all I want is a keyboard and a processor and a screen for the few minutes that I might need one. And, and to be willing to lose the device because something bad happened with water. So I think I'll actually order the Air, but I'll get it in blue because that'll be water repellent.
Yes.
I didn't know it worked that way. Jeff, you threw in our chat room the 14-inch M5 Pro would work for you. Is that the one that you have your eye on?
If I were to buy one right now, yeah, it'd be the stock 14-inch M5 Pro. It would give me more than my 14-inch M2 MacBook Pro, and the price is actually, I think that since I had to pay the upgrade fee for better storage on my M2, I believe the M5 Pro comes in $100 less than I paid for the M2 Pro.
Wow.
Hmm.
And more RAM too, right?
And yeah, because mine has 16 gigs of RAM. The new model will have 24.
Yep.
Comes standard with the 1 terabyte drive. I paid for the upgrade to 1 terabyte.
Jim, you're the only one we haven't heard from. Is there anything tempting you here, or is it just you don't need this for what you do?
Well, I've got a about 1-year-old 14-inch M4 Max, I think it was. So it's pretty tricked out. So it feels like a brand new machine to me still. I think the one thing that's going to get me at some point to upgrade would be a cellular modem.
Yeah, which I think isn't going to happen until the M6 series.
Well, it's pretty clearly not going to happen with the M5.
Right.
That would be. I mean, I'm not saying I won't ever get another machine unless a cellular modem comes out, but that would be the one thing that, if it did come out, I would be immediately very, very tempted. But other than that, I mean, this machine is, it's really, really fast. I got an 8 terabyte drive, 64 gig of memory. So, I'm not coming close to tapping out with that. So, it's a great machine. I love it. So,
yeah, I didn't realize you got an 8 terabyte drive internal. I mean, it's
expensive.
That's expensive, but that's nice too.
It is expensive, but I just, I keep winding up with bits of my digital, some of it's here and there. And actually, I haven't really, it still is that. I need to get stuff from external drives and bring it onto that machine and, and really get all that stuff organized. I haven't really done that, but theoretically I could. So, yeah.
Well, I want to help Eric a little bit because I know somebody else on the panel that said he's going to be handing down an M2. And so maybe he could hand it to you as opposed to a family member, or maybe you could throw a couple shekels his way to ease his pain. I'm trying to help you, Brian. I'm trying to help you.
Yeah, it might be a corporate member and not a family member. So.
Seriously, Eric, though, when you were talking about this, something we had said pre-show, why would you need, and I'm not joking about this, do you feel the need for one of these higher powered Macs for the use case you were talking about? I mean, could you drop down to an M1 or M2 14-inch and?
Well, I could. In fact, I have an M1 14-inch, so that works. I'm looking for something that's got more battery power.
Oh, okay.
You get 10 hours in some of these.
Yeah.
So my M1 has got enough years on it now that
same.
Its battery life is starting to. And I mean, my other option is I could go and ask for a replacement battery. But that starts to approach just get a different machine.
Yeah.
And tomorrow there might be a machine that is even cheaper that I wouldn't mind losing underwater.
All right. Well, let's touch on this because before we leave the laptop discussion, and I didn't I refuse to put a link in the show notes on this because it's just another one of those, that they jump on something. Although it seems kind of obvious that Apple may have dropped the ball and leaked what is being referred to as the Neo, as this much discussed low cost Mac. And so maybe that's what we'll see tomorrow in conjunction with something else. And so Eric, that might do what you're looking for.
Yeah.
This has been rumored as to the colors have been rumored, the price points have been rumored, the processor has been rumored. So we'll see.
Wasn't it rude of them to wait to announce it until after our show tonight?
Well, at least they leaked it for us, so we
on.
could touch on it. But other than Eric, seriously, does this punch anybody's buttons for any particular use case?
Yeah, it does.
Go ahead.
Okay, Marty, what are you thinking?
From an educational standpoint, I just found out I'm on a grant for the summer where I'm working with international teachers coming to the U.S. And there's some technology monies there for them to spend. Getting something other than a Chromebook would be appealing to them, and I think appealing to the educational market. I'll jump on this because I'm interested in the form factor and how cheap it really is. As people have been downplaying and say all the stuff that Apple's going to have to take out of it in order for it to reach that price point. I think that the price points that have creeped up on the MacBook Airs and have creeped up on some of the current releases, whether it's RAM or whatever it is going to keep the price point of the MacBook Neo on the higher end rather than on the lower end of projections, because you ain't going to be able to get a computer for under $1,000 now, unless it's this new low cost MacBook. So,
Brett in the chat room says he's still using his M1 MacBook Pro with a touch bar, and none of those machines announced today are appealing to me because the screen notch is a deal breaker.
Well, they're talking about possibly a touch screen. I mean, again, all rumors. We'll find out what happens tomorrow morning. But one of the things they suggested with this MacBook Neo was potentially a touch screen.
Okay.
Hey, Chuck, when I bought my M2 14-inch, I was very concerned about the notch, because the idea of having that chunk in my main computer display, that did not sound appealing at all. Now, granted, I'm usually using my my big display, my external display, but when I'm out and about, just built-in display. And what I found is that the notch was a non-issue for me, and I was really surprised to discover that. I noticed the notch the first couple days because it was new, and I was concerned about it being in the way, and then it wasn't.
Jeff, I've had exactly the same experience. It was one of those things that's, it's like I'm buying a big display. I don't want something blocking off part of it. And
Right.
a day, 2 days, maybe 3, I don't remember. But you're right. I don't think of it now at all. It's just, okay, pardon me. Getting all choked up here. If I run into it with menu bar icons, all right, then it might be a minor annoyance, but it's just
That's why you're running Barbie.
Yeah, exactly, or one of the other options.
Yeah,
but yeah, so I'm with you. And the touchscreen Mac, the jury's out. I'll wait and see. I have yet to say that I've reached over and touched my MacBook screen. It just doesn't happen. But if I could, maybe I would. I'm not anxious to, because then I'm going to smudge my screen.
Yeah.
and for me, a touch screen on a MacBook is a wasted screen, because I do run in closed lid mode a lot. And even if I had my MacBook Pro open on my desk, the display is off to the side somewhere. It would just, yeah, for me, that would be a wasted feature.
Wow. All right. That's interesting. I don't run in closed lid mode. I've never run in closed lid mode because I've got that screen real estate that I want to make use of, even if it's secondary.
Yeah.
So I never
16.
thought of it. Sorry, Dave.
A 16 inch.
Yeah. Dave, I think, did you raise your hand that the alleged Neo might be something you'd be interested in?
I might look at it in a sense. I mean, it all depends on what the cost is going to be. It's something I can, like with Marty, he wants to look at it on the education angle. I'd like to look at it too. I was already sitting here trying to price out, seeing what the trade-in value of my M3 MacBook Air would be to the M5. So, and it's not bad. I mean, I can get the base model. It cost me $500 to do it. So, but yeah, I'll be curious when they announce it tomorrow. I mean, I know that they're going to have a lot of fun colors, which is kind of neat. And that's a kind of an appealing thing too, just to see what they come up with the colors. I mean, just like they've done with the iPad Air, the fun colors on that. And they haven't had like fun colors like this on a Mac in quite a long time.
Eric?
Yeah, for me, I'm looking for a machine that I can loan out to somebody or recommend as a really, really inexpensive machine. And what I've done in the past is I just get an iPad and put a keyboard on it. You know, particularly for people that they want to browse and send email and, you know, maybe watch TV or something. They're not stressing their machines. And I think this machine might more conveniently solve that particular problem and be less expensive than getting a bigger iPad with, you know, with a nice keyboard so that it doesn't flop around when you're trying to use it. So it's easier to carry back and forth between a chair and a table. Or if somebody's, you know, in the hospital for a while, just drop it off and let them use it.
Right. Brian, you had something you were reaching back to WWDC 2020.
Yeah, I just I was trying to think of what the name is of the chip, and I think I found it, the A12Z. It was that chip that they announced when Apple announced that they were transitioning to their own silicon, and it was that modified iPad chip that they were using. And so just out of interest, I was thinking about the difference of what may be the difference in performance between a M series and an A series chip. Obviously, the specs would be, you know, modern day, you know, 6 years later. But just considering the difference between the A series, was it the six? I lost the name of it again. The 12Z and the M1 that eventually came out like 6 months later, and pretty significant difference even between that. It looks like that developer kit and then the M1. So it'll be interesting to see how much different that ends up looking like, if all those rumors are true and it's A series and inside that new laptop.
Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.